be shy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MAC building. This building is the site and official, well, let me restart that. This is the building where the 4 types of talks essential to the supervision of the ceasefire agreement were held, and the former site of the general officer level talks. All MAC meetings last between 3 and 4 hours. However, there's one on record that lasted 11.5 hours. All statements are translated into 2 languages, English and Korean. This is done by translators who worked simultaneously in the translator booths located at either end of the building. However, the translator booths are no longer used because the translators now sit at the heads of the table. The microphones you see on the table are monitored and recorded 24 hours a day. They also represent the military demarcation line inside the building, which is farther extended to my front and to my rear by a 17 by 5-inch concrete slab you'll see located outside. Guards are posted inside this building for your protection. They stand at a modified position of Taekwondo. This stance, along with the sunglasses, is used to present an intimidating stance towards the North Koreans, and the rock soldiers you see posted outside stand only half exposed to present less of a target in case they were fired upon. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to direct your attention to the translator booth at the southern end of the building. You will see a plastic sign with flags on it. At one time, there was a shelf with miniature silk flags of each of these nations. In March 2001, President George W. Bush met with the former president of the Republic of Korea, Kim Dae-jung. At approximately the same time they were shaking hands in Washington, D.C., the JDO officer observed through a camera in the translator booth as 2 North Korean soldiers came in. The first North Korean soldier proceeded to polish his boots with the American flag. The second soldier proceeded to blow into his nose with the Republic of Korea's flag. Therefore, the shelf and the flags were removed and replaced with this plastic sign you now see, which will hopefully provide them with a harder target. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a few moments inside of this building. You may move about freely. And also, those of you who are standing on this side of the table are now standing in North Korea. Those of you standing on this side are still relatively safe with me in the south. If you wish to make a crossing into North Korea, you may do so at this time. Also, you may photograph anything in the area, and to include the ROK soldiers. However, do not touch them or interfere with their duties in any way. Do not cross behind either of the ROK soldiers, and do not stand in front of the soldiers standing at this end of the table. Lastly, do not place anything on the tables, and do not sit on any of the furniture. If you have any questions, I'll be located near the southern door. Please feel free to ask any questions. Thank you. Well, actually, Joint Duty Officer is an American naval officer who serves as an official representative of the United Nations Command Military Armistice Commission and conducts official communications between the UNC and the KPA. Across from the JDO building, you will see a three-story tan building. This is KPA Tower number 2, and you are now being monitored at this time. Please do not point, wave, gesture, or communicate with any of the soldiers in KPA Tower number 2. At the base of the hill, you will see white stakes that stand at 1 meter in height and are spaced at 10-meter intervals. These stakes represent the border within the joint security area and are farther extended on the conference row by the 17 by 5-inch concrete slabs in between the buildings. Starting with this building, the gray building with the curtains. This is North Korea's recreation center. It's named this rather ironically, for it houses no recreation equipment and is seldom used by the North Koreans. Basically, all this building is used for is to stage 10 to 20 armed soldiers in whenever we have any types of talks between the officers. When the soldiers are inside this building, they usually pull back the curtains, point, wave, and make derogatory gestures, such as a throat-slitting gesture. Due to these antics, this building has obtained the nickname the Monkey House. Next is T3. T3 is used by the Joint Duty Officer for all colonel level and staff officer level talks. T2 is the Military Armistice Commission or MAC building that we proceeded to visit when we first came onto Conference Road. T1 is used by the Neutral Nations Supervisory Commission camp for weekly meetings. The gray building you see to your far left represents the former Czech and Polish NNSC building, which is no longer used. At this time, I would like to direct your attention behind Conference Road. You'll see North Korea's Visitors Welcoming Center, the Panmunjom. It also serves as a two-man guard post. If you look, you'll see one guard posted outside, and next to him, to our left and his right, you'll see a small window. Believe it or not, there's another guard in there, and you'll probably see him a little later with binoculars. He'll either be looking through with the binoculars or he'll pass them off to his counterpart. The third story of this building is different from the rest of the building. This story was constructed in 1994 to make the building taller than what it was. At this time, you may go ahead and take pictures. Once again, do not point, wave, gesture, communicate.